There are only two ways to live your life. One is as if nothing is a miracle. The other is as if everything is. Einstein said that. And now that I've said it, Einstein and I have got something in common. Went on a zip line canopy tour of the Redwoods, right? And I said, honey, you know I've been scared of heights my whole life. And he said, yes, I know that. Because, you know, when I went to the Grand Canyon, I had to lie down on my stomach and crawl away. And I wasn't even at the edge. I mean, I was just kind of close. Yeah. When I got to the place, they give you this release to sign, okay? They had stuff like, you realize that this is an extreme sport and carries the following dangers. And then they had like 2 pages of possible injuries. It was like bruises, contusions, you know, emotional trauma, you know, broken arm, broken leg, shattered elbow, you know, and at the end, fatality, right? And I thought, hey, this is very thorough. This is very, and we had gone in for the whole package, so we got the helmet cam. Because I thought, I have got to have the helmet cam, because nobody that knows me is going to believe that I did this, right? So our group went on. We get to the first tree, and I'm pumped by then. I'm ready, right? My husband went. He's totally fearless. He goes, I'll go first. And he jumps on the zip line, and he takes off, right? And he did it just perfectly, okay? And then the next person did it, and just perfectly. And then somebody else did it just perfectly. And then it was my turn. And I said, I got it. I got it, man. And then I took like some deep breaths, you know, like, well, I didn't exhale right at first. I mean, you know, I took like 5 deep breaths, and then I realized I was hyperventilating. Then I exhaled, and I did it. I did it perfectly, and I got to the next stop. So we waited for about 20 minutes, and I'm telling you, my helmet cam was wasted. Totally wasted the money on the helmet cam. I was like this, holding on to the tree, real close to me. My helmet cam was just filming bark, you know, just bark, 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 the whole time. And other people in the group were like, oh, come on, Marty, look at the view. It's so beautiful, right? And I'm like, oh, I love it. It looks great, man. I love bark. I love it. It looks so pretty. I rappelled from the last tree. I mean, I was so cool. By the time I did that last station, I was just like, check Grandma out now, people. Check this out. And one arm, pew, just like, ah, you know, like, eat your heart out, Tom Cruise. I got it. So, and, you know, it just felt so good, you know, because new experiences and challenging yourself. You know, it's the kind of stuff you guys do all day long, every day. And that's why I appreciate you. And I'm not kissing up, maybe a little bit.
Marti MacGibbon. She is a speaker, author, and stand-up comic who has triumphed over nightmare experiences in her life, including human trafficking, homelessness, hardcore drug addiction. Marti, you will not stop giving voice to those who don't have voice, and we're so grateful for your joining us. Someone looks at you with all your success, they'd never believe. How were you a victim of human trafficking?
I was taken prisoner. The contact, it was Japanese organized crime. It was the Yakuza. They threatened me with death. They brutalized me and terrified me, and I thought I was going to lose my mind.
Yes.
But I found my courage by
I just found that place. You know that place in your mind, there's an anchor place where it's just you.
Yes.
It's that place where when you shut your eyes at night, right before you go to sleep, it's only you. And I thought, this is me, this is my anchor, this is my real estate. No matter what happens to my body, this is mine, and I am going home for Christmas. And this was early November, and the exact right person to rescue me came into that place as a customer, but he rescued me, and I was home 2 days before Christmas. And I thought, this is not going to change who I am. And I still apply that today, like in everyday life. It's never let anything or anyone change the way you think about yourself. And when I returned home, I was so traumatized. And that's the thing, you have to survive the surviving. Constantly, every day, I thought I was going to die. I mean, I thought I didn't, every day. And they were going to ship me off to another city, and this guy got me out. So it's frightening, but at the same time, I cannot let fear and shame stop me from sharing my story, because I know that it's fear and shame that are the traffickers' weapons. And the traffickers are banking on the fact that victims and survivors will stay silent out of fear and shame. They're counting on that. And when I think of that, I think, no, baby. And most of my message to people is that no matter what has happened to you, no matter what is happening, what adversity, you have the power. You have the personal power to change your life and change your future, and the power is in the present moment.
I got an invitation to do a comedy show in a federal penitentiary. Okay. And I was really excited about it. I was like, are you kidding? I'll do it, man. And so I walked out there, and it was all these men, right? And they were some of the baddest, meanest, toughest men I have ever seen. And they were sitting on these folding chairs right there, and there were no guards, and you know, and I thought, I got this, you know, I got this. I just went into autopilot, right, and I just started doing jokes, but they weren't laughing, and then I see this guy, he starts to make these hand motions, and in prison, I learned later as a drug counselor, in prison, they do hand motions. It's a language. There's a hand motion thing, okay? Well, I didn't know that. I thought he was doing closed caption for the hearing. And I thought, boy, I'd like to know what that guy, you know. And then I realized, and then he was getting laughs on his hand motion. So I figured, he's a hand motion heckler, right? I mean, like, he's saying stuff about me. You know, it got real scary, right? And so I did something no comedian should ever do. I've never done it before or since. I walked on my own act. I just said, oh, well, hey, people, I won't take any more of your time. Oh, that's my show. You know, I walked off. And I just was so ashamed of myself. And I went out in the lobby. So this man comes walking over to me, and he's a Latino guy, an older man. And he had a folding chair under his arm. And he said, do you mind if I sit down here? And I said, not at all. Then I thought to myself, there's plenty of room here in the loser corner, you know, like, right? And so he sat down beside me, and he began to tell me some of the most profound spiritual truths I've ever heard in my life. He started telling me how he was doing this extended sentence, and how he was in his cell, he had learned how to meditate, and the things that he had discovered as a result of that meditation, that building block, so much. And he was telling me all these wonderful, profound things, and it was just beautiful. But my ego was just working on me, like, you're a bad comedian, you walked on your act, and I couldn't really give him my full due because I was so wrapped up in myself. And then he said, are you listening to me? Because I'm trying to cheer you up. And then I realized, I thought I was going in that prison to do something, to teach something, to whatever. But I was going in that prison, because there are no mistakes in my universe. Anyway, there's no mistakes. There's a plan. And I realized that the plan was for me to go into that prison and learn that lesson. And I thought, you know what? I know now that even in the worst place, there is human kindness and profound beauty. When the show was over and the prisoners were leaving, you know, they were shaking our hands, right, the comedians. And I'm shaking, I'm telling, you know, whatever. I said thank you to the Latino guy. And I look across the room, and there's this great big, huge guy, and he was as huge as like an NFL offensive. I mean, huge, and he had like a great big scar on his face, and he's looking right at me. And he came over, and he just took my hand, and he looked me right in the eye, and he said, now, when you go back out there, you remember what you learned in here. Never let some jerk change the way you think about yourself, and never give in to fear. And you know what I told him? All right. And that's why I shared that story at the end. And thank you very much. I'm Marti MacGibbon.